this is a reading for somebody who has recently realized or decided to stop giving so much of their emotional body to other people, okay? And how this might be presenting in your life is that you've recently decided to be either less social or less giving or less bubbly to people who do not deserve it. I'm feeling like this is a very, like, I'm hearing the word like jolly, but I don't know how well that would apply to the situation, but that's what I'm hearing. I'm kind of getting the vibe of somebody that like always sees the bright side of things, always sees the silver lining, always sees the glass half full. And when I say that, I don't mean that you're not realistic, okay? Because I think a lot of people can kind of think of that energy as like being naive, and it's not that you're naive or stupid or whatever. It's the fact that you're able to see what others cannot see, and that is the spiritual underlyings of the situation. Do you know what I mean? So like, you're the kind of person that's like, oh, somebody lost their job, and it's like, well, maybe now you're being set on a new course that you were always meant to be set on, you know? And it's not ignoring the situation or invalidating people's feelings. It's just saying, think of what isn't right in front of you right now. Like, this is a collective of people that are always aware of what is not seen, right? So this is psychics, intuitives, highly spiritual people, highly sensitive people, right? So all those kinds of people that just have this tendency to like look at situations deeper and like have that deeper thinking, that bigger mind, right? They've recently decided to stop extending that energy to people who do not deserve it, okay? And obviously that's gonna look different for everybody, but I'm thinking like how this, I'm gonna give a personal example from my personal life. My mother, whenever I try to tell her like, oh, well, you know, the situation might not be like that, it might be like this, she gets mad at me because she doesn't want help. She wants to sulk, right? And it's like, well, I'm just not gonna help you then. I'm just gonna let you sulk, you know? That's the energy here. Is it's like, I'm not going to continuously expend my energy on somebody who doesn't want it, who doesn't care to appreciate it for what it actually is, right? And that can manifest in many, many different ways. Like I said, this might be manifesting as like completely cutting somebody off. This might be manifesting as just deciding to not put that energy into someone, not have those conversations anymore, right? And so the Queen of Wands reverse says, I'm not gonna be extending my energy. I'm gonna keep that energy to myself, which leads to an evolution into the King of Wands. So the King of Wands is, like, when we think of wands is the suit of fire, right? So it is a very like fast, expansive energy. I'm feeling like this is going to lead to an extremely quick evolution, like once you stop expending this energy in places that do not deserve it, right? Because the Queen of Wands, she carries that energy, but she's also a giver, right? She's the divine feminine in the suit of fire, right? So with the suit of swords, it's like you're putting that energy now into yourself and also your own projects, right? And with that, I'm feeling like things are going to be coming in quickly here because we have the King of Swords here. And to me, when we see the suit of swords and we see the suit of wands, this is something that comes about fairly quickly because the wands is very, very quick. And the suit of swords is very light and airy, right? Swords is mental, it's ruled by air. And it's something that comes in an untangible form, an intangible form. I don't know what word would fit there. I don't know if those are even real words, but it comes in a form of something you have to create. Everything with swords is something you have to create because it's always in your mind, right? It's always an idea. And so with the King of Swords here, it's almost like the idea that's coming forth is a creation of self, because King is a face card, right? It's a person, and it's representing you here. I'm hearing like they're inside of you. There are two wolves, but inside of you there are two kings, right? And the king of passion and action and excitement has now bonded with the king of intellect. And it's now coming together to create this really beautiful sort of like amalgamation of like creative energy. But it's not really creative energy because cups is creation, right? Cups and earth, those are creation to me, but they're long term. So it's almost like you've done that part, you've done the creation part, you've done the feminine part, of like sitting and waiting and creating and you know, and now it's really time to like, let's put this into action. Let's put this into freaking action right now. I feel like it is very important that it's like, I emphasize this is a period of time of stepping into power, stepping into one's sovereignty. Some of you might be going through a Saturn return, around the age of 30, around the age of 60 as well. It's interesting here because we have the 10 of Cups reversed and the 10 of Wands upright. And how I interpreted this is you're done giving your emotions away to other people. So again, this is tying into that Queen of Wands where it's like, I'm not going to expend my beautiful, fiery energy on somebody who doesn't want it and somebody who's not going to reciprocate that. But the 10 of Cups reversed is interesting because 10 of Cups upright is emotional fulfillment. And it's almost saying to me, like when I pulled this, is you're not looking for emotional fulfillment right now. You're looking for an end to a struggle, okay? That is the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands is an end to a struggle, right? Because the 9 of Wands is paranoia, struggle, challenges, being on guard. And then the 10 of Wands is, it's like, yes, you're tired from that. Yes, you're worn out from that, but it's ending. It's ending, right? So that's the energy here. It's like the 10 of Cups, it's like right now you're not focused on building, you're not focused on the end goal right now. Like to me, 10 of Cups is like, oh, I have pure emotional fulfillment, I have everything I want. And it's like, that's not what your entire focus is right now. And I'm not saying that that's not something that you want. I'm just saying that it's like right now what's coming in is sort of this ending of this 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands energy of the struggle. So the struggle is ending right now because you stepped into your sovereignty, right? Because you left this Queen of Wands reversed energy and stepped into the King of Wands and King of Swords energy. And I have no doubt that you'll be able to turn this 10 of Cups upright in due time, right? But the important thing is the struggle that has ended has opened up to this 10 of Cups energy. It's almost like maybe you feel like you cannot receive such like bountiful amounts of whatever, you know, like whatever, like everything, right? Money, love, happiness, you know, whatever, like all those things, right? Whatever we consider to kind of be elusive to us, right? It's almost like the struggle is ending now in your connection to that energy, right? And you're saying, maybe I do deserve those things. Maybe I can allow myself to deserve those things. Allow myself to think I deserve those things is what I was trying to say, right? Like that's the energy here, is that there's some sort of struggle ending, which is going to be opening up your perspective, and you're going to be seeing that you can truly create more than you've ever thought, right? This throat chakra blockage. What I'm receiving here, the message that I'm receiving is you're going to be receiving something soon that shows you just how great manifestation can be. Like this is going to be something that it's like proves to you manifestation is real. Does that make sense? Where it's like, because I've had stuff like that in my life where I'm like, I've manifested something down to the T. I'm like, there's no freaking way manifestation's not real, right? So this is something coming in, probably something you've been waiting for a while, where it comes in and it's either exactly what you wanted or slightly better. And you're like, oh, okay, I can trust this now. Oh, okay, I'm seeing things on the up now, you know? That's the energy here. I'm gonna pull from the Wisdom of the Oracle now and see, I wanna get clarity on this 10 of Cups reversed. Clarity / advice. How can we turn this 10 of Cups upright? Should we turn the 10 of Cups upright? Okay, we have never-ending story here. Okay, so this is clarifying that the 10 of Cups is directly tied into the ending of this current cycle of struggle right now, because the never-ending story is a card about allowing yourself to move on from the narrative that has been either forced upon you or a story that you've been forced to continue to tell, right? So the story of struggle is ending, right? I want to draw to the imagery on this card. It's a fairy and she's sitting on the hourglass. She's waiting for the hourglass to be up. And the imagery that the energy that this imagery provokes, oh my god. Oh, yeah, there's like a major expression blockage here. I'm like messing up my words in like such a weird way that's so different from what I usually do. And how I'm receiving that is that it's like you feel that you can't express yourself until the struggle is over. Does that make sense? Like, it's almost like you don't have the energy right now. You don't even have the energy to think about the absolute best, highest version of you. Like, you don't even know the highest version of you yet. You have an idea of what you think is the highest version. Be prepared, because it's going to be even better than that. Because right now, I don't think you have, it's not that you don't have the capacity, but I think, like I said, I think this struggle has drained you of, I don't want to say your energy, and like, it's, I think your emotional energy, like, again, like, because drawing back to the beginning with the Queen of Wands and you need to take your power back, like, I think that struggle has left you kind of drained, and now there's a period of time where the struggle is going to end and you're going to be working on recuperating your energy. And it's the vibe of, like, the energy that I'm getting is like, you don't even know how good it's going to get. You don't even know how amazing you could be, right? Because of how much you've been uplifting others, how much you've been pouring into others your entire life. You don't even know what it's, you can't even fathom, like, the powerfulness that you have been giving away. The power that you've been giving away, like, when you give it to yourself, you can't even fathom how powerful you're going to become. That's what I'm trying to say. Took a while to get there, but we did get there. And again, we have Never-Ending Story, and it's the idea of she's sitting on this hourglass, she's giving all her time to this hourglass, waiting for it to end. Wait, when is it going to end? When is the timer going to be up? But the thing is, the time is never up, because an hourglass just flips back around and the timer starts again. And the only thing that can stop her from being in this cycle of waiting for the time to be up is for her to just leave and give up on the hourglass and say, you know what, it doesn't really matter. You know, like, this cycle that I'm waiting to end, it can only end if I end it. Because hourglasses, they constantly flip over, right? And there's also a heart in the middle, and it almost kind of looks like a Ouija board, but it also kind of isn't. But, like, just, it says, like, yes and no on it, but it's actually a spinner. Like, it's a heart-shaped spinner, like, you know, like when you play Twister and you spin on the colors, and it says love me, and then you spin it, and then on the edge it says yes, no, right? So this might be a relationship for some people that you've had to walk away from, or external validation, like seeking external validation from people, you know, where it's like, I try everything, I give to these people, I pour my energy into these people, I pour my energy into this society, right? Trying to be what everybody wants me to be, trying to be what everybody expects from me, and doing my best to make sure that these people are happy, healthy, wealthy, you know. And it's like, where does that leave me, right? Because they still don't reciprocate, right? So I'm gonna pull one last card from the Pocket Archetypes Oracle deck. This is my favorite deck to do shadow work with, so this is gonna be something that I recommend that you chew on, whatever this card says. Like, really think about what it says and how it might apply to your life. Okay, we have the Mother. Mommy issues? No. I'm just kidding. Not really, though. Maybe for some of you, but that doesn't have to apply. So the Mother card here is the idea that the mother has the power to bind the child and keep it stuck and stagnant, but it also has the power to release the child. So it's basically the idea that, like, if you look at the card, it is a snake wrapped around a little pearl, an egg, right? So if we think of a pearl, it's a piece of dirt that gets into a clam, and they do it to protect themselves, right? They make this thing to protect themselves. And I think that's interesting, because I think that can almost be how some people's relationships with their mother ends up. And I'm not saying that it is, but this might be, this might only apply to, like, one person watching this video. But if you think of it as, like, I think a lot of mothers can have a piece of them that hurts, and they think that if they turn this thing into a pearl, their child, then it will fix it, right? But it doesn't, because your kid your kid should never be born out of the hate that you have for yourself. But a lot of mothers do that. A lot of people think, if I have a kid, then I can reparent myself through this child. But instead, the parent just ends up, the child just ends up parenting them, is what I'm trying to say. And the parent, at that point, the mother, then has to decide, this is my creation. Do I let it go? Do I let it be free? Or do I keep it trapped in this cage, right? And that can happen at any point in the child's life until eventually the child says, you know, you're not my mom anymore, I'm leaving. You know, like, I got to make the choice for me. And then, you know, obviously the mother dies. The mother, like, not physically, but the mother archetype is left behind. She is no longer the mother. She is the captor, right? That's what I'm trying to say. And again, this might apply physically to a mother relationship or a parent relationship. Apparently, like, this could be a father as well, just in this sort of mother archetype energy, right? But I think, like, I'm kind of like thinking of like Mother Gothel from like Tangled, from Rapunzel, how she keeps this child with her out of her source of own pain, right? Like, she keeps her with her because of her own vanity, right? Her vainness, her vanity, right? And she ends up hurting this child because she thinks this child will fix her, that she uses this child to fix her, right? So that's the energy here. And how this might be presenting if you do not have a mother wound, this might be coming forth as a connection. This is 100% a connection with something, whether that be an addiction, an unhealthy habit, a physical person, or society as a whole. But there's some sort of thing, again, tying into that Queen of Wands energy at the beginning, where you're freeing yourself from the binds. You're freeing yourself from the captor, right? Whatever that is to you. To leave it off, I'm gonna read this from the book because I feel like there's something important here. I also want to say that I think it's interesting in this book that the mother is number 1 and the father is number 2. And I think that's interesting because it's like our mother is the first thing, right? Our mother is the first thing we meet in this world, right? We begin our archetypal story with the mother's love. Through her sensual, fertile, and life-giving energy, all creation takes form. Regardless of our birth story, each of our hearts beat for the first time in the warm womb of the mother, where she offered resources from her body for the building of our own. Yet her tale is not so simple, as the mother, especially on the earthly plane, contains both light and dark aspects of the feminine. With the best of intentions, the mother wraps her loving arms around her creations and begins to grip what she meant to set free. The mother both nurtures and prohibits growth. She gives yet clings. She creates yet restricts. Amid this complex energy, the mother holds the key to the internal challenge of love. When light, glowing, generative, creative, and nurturing. When dark, dim, exhausted, controlling, and limiting. Yeah, so I'm going to leave that at that. Do with that as you will. Like I said, that's kind of a shadow worky deck. When it comes up, it's kind of something that you have to examine in your own life and be like, oh, okay, how does that archetype apply to me? Am I being like that? I don't think you are, but, you know, do your own due diligence on that. But again, I think this mother energy is the person or the energy that you were distancing yourself from at the beginning of this reading as we step from Queen of Wands reverse into King of Wands. So, I'm going to leave that reading there. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next message. Goodbye for now.